The long-awaited replacement to the Great Movie Ride is now open. Since I am a massive Great Movie Ride fan, I thought I would make a video not only showing my thoughts on the new attraction, but also answering the question of, does Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway hold up to the Great Movie Ride? First, I will cover the Easter eggs hidden in the attraction that reference the Great Movie Ride. One of the most obvious references in the attraction, unless you don't know your history, is the twister located in the carnival scene. The Great Movie Ride's original plan was to incorporate the twister scene from The Wizard of Oz to create a smooth transition into the movie's scene. However, MGM would not let this be. MGM allotted Disney with select pieces from the film, which the twister scene was not included with that. As a result, the twister was replaced with the Fantasia sequence. Imagineers had everything ready to go. You can see that the shape of the frame that goes around the film, you can see that with that. The change was made last minute. The other reference I wanted to cover is a poster also located in the carnival scene. The poster reads, "The Great Moving Ride," in reference to the Great Movie Ride. Next, I will walk through each of the differences found in comparison to the Great Movie Ride. One of the main differences is in the queue. There are all these walls that go up, and gone are all the movie props. There were lots of adjustments made to the guest flow just to correctly implement the screen element seen in the briefing room for the attraction. I believe the load and unload station is positioned in the same spot as it was before. And now, moving on to the actual ride. The section where you go through the tunnel right after boarding is positioned in between the Footlight Parade and Singing in the Rain scenes. After going through the tunnel, you enter this area with Mickey and Minnie riding alongside you on this elevated road. This is where the Mary Poppins scene was, though it does remind me quite a bit of the gangster scene where the car pulls out from the tunnel and the gangsters inside engage in a shootout. The trend with the rest of the attraction is that all the previous show elements were ripped out and nothing is recognizable. The rest of the layout is completely different. Finally, I want to cover some of the attraction's highlights. I really do like this attraction. I think it's really cool. One of the main things that I think is like so cool about it is all the effects. First being in the briefing room, as I mentioned earlier, with that screen, Goofy crashes and this giant hole is made in the wall, and that's just like, how did they do that? I really do want to figure that out. Hopefully Disney shows that somehow, or we somehow figure out how they did it. It's just mind-boggling though. I have no clue how it was done. And that's what Disney wants us to feel like. They want us to know, they want us to wonder, how did they do that? How did the Imagineers do that? And I like that element of thrill and like wonder, but I also would like to know how it was done. Moving on, I really do like some of the audio animatronics included. Like, they're really interesting. Like Pete, I really like that animatronic. A lot of people, I've heard some people complain about them, but I've also heard a lot of praise, and I'm going to praise them because I think they're very interesting. They're kind of like Radiator Springs Racers, I cannot speak, and Frozen Ever After with the projections on the faces, but it really works here. Like, really works. I feel like Radiator Springs Racers works really well. Frozen Ever After, not as much, but here it really does work, and it looks really good. I'm really happy with how they did the projections on the face and everything. The Daisy animatronic, really good. I love all the animatronics that they put into the attraction. I think they look excellent. I also really like how they just, that transition from the factory sequence to the ending park sequence. Like, what? They use like the projections and stuff to do that, but it's still really interesting because you have all these other physical elements like that water, which looks fantastic, by the way. It's just, how did they do that? I don't know. I'm just like, this leaves a lot of questions, and I want the answers, and it's just, they did such a good job. Imagineers did such a good job. I'm really just praising WDI with this attraction. I also really do love the Nothing Can Stop Us Now theme song. That is really good. It sticks in your head. That's exactly what WDI and Disney wanted, which is great. I really like this song too, so I'm really happy with that. Overall, this attraction is fantastic. It's great. And that leaves one last question. Does Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway hold up to the grand, famous, The Great Movie Ride? And I would say yes, it does. I love The Great Movie Ride. It is my favorite attraction, definitely my favorite extinct attraction, but it's probably like ranked number 3 or 4 alongside Matterhorn Bobsledd's The Haunted Mansion and the TTA People Mover. It's a very close race between the People Mover and the Great Movie Ride, but it's either 3 or 4. And I love the history behind the attraction. I love everything about the Great Movie Ride. It's one of my favorites. And for it to be replaced by something, it's like, you cannot do that. And would I rather have the Great Movie Ride stay? Yes, definitely. Though I do think Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway is definitely a good replacement. It's not bad. I really love this new attraction. I do think it's worthy of taking on the Great Movie Ride if it was to close, and this is what happened. So I'm not disappointed. I think the Great Movie Ride was one of those attractions where you can just keep building off of it. You can keep replacing the scenes with new movies, and it would continue to be interesting. Not like it wasn't interesting to begin with, but you know, that goes for even more re-rideability as the years go on. I think that's something they should have done, which they never took that opportunity. Though we did hear that they were going to put a Lord of the Rings scene in place of the Alien scene. Of course, that never happened, but that was a rumor. I really do think that this is a good replacement, though. I'm really happy with the Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. I think it's great. So that's kind of everything I wanted to go over in this video. Again, this is a great attraction. I cannot wait to go ride it myself. I'm really excited about that. I think probably the best thing about this attraction is that it just transports you into the world of Mickey Mouse, the current Mickey Mouse shorts, and Disney did this perfectly. I am very impressed. Very, very, very impressed by this attraction. So that's going to do it. Have a magical day and a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. Till Aspire.